As long as this is being recorded already, we can go on ahead and get started.
We're good to go.
Hi, everybody. Already my remote is not working. That's an auspicious beginning. So I'm Will Styler. Many of you know me. I am a linguist here in our department. My area of focus is primarily in phonetics and computational linguistics and sort of the intersection there. Just pretend computers are humans and ask them questions and they tell us things about humans, which is odd. But in my free time, he says jokingly as an academic, memes are a thing, and it's a currency I've traded in for a long time. And so today I'd like to talk a little bit about the relationship between memes and language and linguistics. It might be a little longer than I had maybe hoped, but it kind of is a thing. And by the way, do feel free to shitpost in chat. That's perfectly, I'm fine with that. Have fun. So linguistics of memes, roughly is today. First off, there is a content warning. We'll be discussing memes of all types. There will be a little bit of profanity in here. Oh my God, profanity in my memes? More likely than you think. And there will be cursed memes. So keep that in mind. Also, I'd like to give you an aging warning. I have been at this since 2007. Like I was quoted by an Australian newspaper talking about lolcats on my blog in 2007. My memes are a little dated. I'm trying to keep up. And there are people even in this room right now who are doing their best to help. But if you see that's definitely, that's a factor. So what I'd like to talk today about is to start off with what are memes actually, then to talk about whether they're language or not, and then why that actually matters. Why is this a question even worth asking? So we'll start off with what are memes? So meme has this definition that's like huge. Like if you look up meme online in the classical sense, a unit of cultural information transmitted verbally or by repeated action from one mind to another. That's everything, roughly, short of like breathing. Pretty much all the things we do is a meme, right? And so the concept is multifaceted, right? Exactly, Alex. That mind plus gene. It is a cultural concept. So like, for instance, an idea, a practice, a ritual, a lot of those things are memes, right? Physical actions like dances, the Macarena, planking, Rickrolling, all of those things. It's physical? Yeah, I guess it's physical. Those are all memes. Language, actually, you could argue, is itself mimetic. It is a meme in and of itself. That's completely fine. That's not generally, though, what we mean on the internet. Memes have many different forms online. You can get like phrases that are memes, like "you love to see it," right? This is a meme in and of itself. There's no referent necessarily to a picture, but it's just, oh yeah, I love to see it. It is a thing, right? Coney 2012 that's an old one, right? But that was a verbal meme that they tried to get started for a variety of interesting reasons. We have 69 copies left. Nice. That's a meme. And that's an interactional pattern in a meme. And then, of course, F in the chat is a thing. That's not necessarily a request. I think I'm doing better than that, but we'll see. Then you get images that are themselves a little bit memey, but are uncaptioned, right? So side-eye Chloe here, kind of a meme, but also not a classical meme, not captioned, right? And then you get captioned images. This is someplace between meme and reaction image. I'm not going to draw a strong line between that there, but this is sort of your classical meme form. You have an image that is funny a little bit of itself, and then it has some kind of a text, and it's even an impact font, right? I mean, it's a meme, right? And then you can go into video and GIF memes. And by the way, you kids don't know how good you've got it. Back in my day, we didn't have the ability to very quickly send pictures back and forth, right? Being able to send pictures in a chat, in Discord, like on IRC, right? You had to like produce a web link and click it. It's like Zoom, right? And that was terrible. So I think a lot of the blossoming that we're seeing in meme culture in the image world is now moving into video, because it's real easy to send an under 8 megabyte video on Discord or something like that. And so there's no real difference there. I don't have to send a YouTube link to Rickroll someone. I can do it directly. Yeah. So videos and GIFs, and that is the correct pronunciation, by the way. That's a link. You get things like the stick bug meme is a thing that came about this summer, and that can in fact turn into a stick roll, which is a delightful linguistic blend. But yes, all of those things No, it is not pronounced yif. Nice try. But yeah, we're going to focus on images today. We're going to talk about image memes just because those are a little easier to deal with right now. So first off, the modern kind of internet-focused definition of meme is sort of, that's our goal today. But I think the same arguments can be made for all of these things. It's important to, link these things together. All of these meme-y things are memes. That's a tautology. Anyways, moving on. Are memes linguistic is kind of our next question. We know what we're talking about today when I mean memes, so are they linguistic? Well, we can ask ourselves another question. What makes language languagey? Right? That's a very official linguistic sounding sentence. But why? What do we think language is? Right? And this is like lecture 2 of Ling 101. Right? There are a lot of folks who've talked about this over and over again. Philosophy of language. What is a language versus something else? Right? And there's not a consensus. It's not like there's a list of single things that makes, like, if you do these 5 things, you're your language, case closed. But there are some things that most people agree on. And so what I'd like to do is talk about some of those guys with regard to memes, basically. Because if memes are language, then they should fit these characteristics, right? So language characteristics. Some of the ones we're going to talk about today, in fact, the ones we're talking about today, are semanticity. Does it have meaning? Arbitrariness of form and meaning. How is the meaning and the form linked? We'll talk about grammaticality, the idea of knowing things, knowing rules. Productivity, creativity. Social transmission, absolutely. Compositionality, is it made up of smaller analyzable parts? And does it do linguistic things? Does it accomplish the functions that language generally does in the world? So, okay, let's start off with semanticity. Elements of language have meaning. God, I hope you know that at this point. You're in lingua, right? Please. But like the z suffix in memes has a defined meaning, right? It means there's more than one of them. Penguin has a defined meaning. That set of phones, that set of letters, it has a meaning, a little waddly dude, right? I went to the park itself has a defined meaning. Memes are meaningless. Wait, no. Memes have meaning. There we go. See, that's better. I don't feel like I have to defend this one. I'll let Drake carry the day. But the fact is, just knowing this opposition here tells you exactly what I think about that. Therefore, memes have meaning. Case closed. Problem solved. Memes have meaning as well. Yes, this is true. So, okay. Memes have meaning. Good. That's one of them down. Arbitrariness. This is another thing we talk a lot about in 101, right? The meaning of, for instance, a little snowman emoji is closely related to its form, right? It's an iconic symbol. That means snowman because you look at it as a human and you say, that's a snowman. By the way, my slides are over here, but I'm looking that way. That's a snowman, right? And so you can understand that. And purely, this should be cross-cultural too. Anybody who has a snowman as a concept should be able to pick up on this. That is an iconic form. The meaning of cat, for instance, is not in any way related to the little fuzzy thing you see in people's Zoom rooms at the moment, right? Cat, has nothing to do with the little purring dudes, right? Unrelated. And so in language, we talk about the fact that the relationship between form and meaning is completely arbitrary. There is no relationship there. Memes actually are complicated here, right? Because memes are very often iconic, and very strongly so. So for instance, they might rely on facial expressions to get their meaning across. They might have photos of situations. Then the photo itself depicts basically the meaning you're after. And the meaning of templates is often based on the image itself, right? And it's often in a very iconic way. You also get grounding in specific cultural context, which goes a little bit further away from iconicity. And you also get abstraction, where they go completely away from that. So let's look at some examples. This template here. This template is iconic, right? I mean, in many ways, but this you could show to anybody from, I think, pretty much any culture. And as long as they understand sweating, buttons, and choice, they're going to understand that whatever 2 things you put above these buttons, there's a hard choice here, right? This bear is giving a very no-like image, right? This is a good old-fashioned Will's era meme, right? But here we can see from the iconic gesture here, this means no. And then the text reinforces that. The oh really owl, maybe one of the earliest proto-memes, still close to my heart, but this has a facial expression, I suppose, that very much matches the content, right? So all of these things are involved in an iconic way. This template here, sorry, I just read it. This one still kills me. But this is based on the idea of handshake, right? Bringing two things together. I have no idea what series this is from or where this comes from. But at the same time, we can see in an instant what this means. Maybe Naruto, okay, sure. But either way, the iconicity carries the meaning here. But some memes require a little bit more cultural understanding, right? So Bad Luck Brian is one that you don't understand necessarily. You look at this kid and you're like, wow, I bet he could grow up to be a linguistics professor. What a nerd. But more importantly, it's not necessarily clear why Bad Luck Brian has the meaning that it does. Namely, something looked like it was going well and it went bad instead. Right. And so this isn't really iconic. It kind of is, because it looks like somebody who is, sorry, Brian, but maybe like a sad sack, constantly has bad things happening to them. But even still, that's really hard to kind of put in there. Right. So similarly, it is inevitable. This is not. Yeah, sorry. It's late, okay? Normally I say it's early. Tonight I say it's late. But this is a case in which you really need the Star Wars knowledge to be able to understand exactly the context of this. Like, if you just read this aloud, you're like, that's an old guy. Huh, it's inevitable. I guess it's inevitable. But this carries more meaning by knowing the cultural reference, right? And memes, though, can get much more abstract. And so let's talk a little bit about meme abstraction. Oh, good God, virtual backgrounds are turning memey already. So a lot of memes start off as iconic, but some templates, some formats, and some other aspects of memes can approach arbitrariness, right? Very concrete and iconic memes can detach from their forms and become something separate. So Salad Cat is a nice example. This is one that is rapidly, and I don't know that that's its formal name, but I have Salad Cat. So this is one that's rapidly being detached from its form. So for instance, I saw this the other day, which is amazing, right? You sort of need to have a couple of references here. You have to have Among Us, you have to have Salad Cat, but it is instantly and straightforwardly there. There's very little shared information between these two, but it's becoming abstracted. Now I want to, this is a little bit serious, and I do mean that, but we have to talk about loss and loss memes in this area here. This was a comic that was originally posted by a webcomic, Control-Alt-Delete. And it was a very serious comic about the author and his wife losing a pregnancy. And so this is the original Lost comic. If you've not seen it, this is what went on. There's no text, there's no nothing. But this was a comic that was posted by an author who usually actually does comedy, right? Almost all of the comics are funny. And then they posted this. This was in an era, right? This was when 4chan was perhaps at its heyday. Many of you know that place, some just by reputation, but it's a place, right? And because this was not quite, it didn't land for a lot of people, it was very strongly criticized for a number of reasons. One, it didn't fit the tone of the strip, generally speaking. People usually go there for comedy, and instead they went there for this. And the dramatic element, a lot of people consider to be very poorly done. And so this strip, even though it is something very serious and something that is not fundamentally at all funny, rapidly became subject to parody, right? Loss memes became a thing. And boy, did they become a thing, right? Now loss memes are to the point where they are, some people have never seen the comic, but they know what a loss meme is. And this is exactly what I mean. So hiding loss references is a thing, right? So is this loss? Is itself a meme? But so this is the original form here. Let's look at how this has been abstracted away. Loss has been basically turned into anything with this shape. So for instance, this is a loss meme. It's disguised as a as geometry, but somebody has turned this into a loss meme by using the standing guy in the corner, then taller, lower, then two next to each other parallel, then one. This turns into a loss meme. Here is the coronavirus loss meme that came about recently. I don't like that I don't like about myself that I have a folder of lost memes. I'm going to be real with you here, but you kind of have to. This is one of my very favorite lost memes, actually. The fact that it's 5 things is just, yes, good. And then, of course, my favorite Lord of the Rings character, Legolas. Yeah, sorry. Oh my God, wow. Yeah, that's about right. And my bow indeed. So sharing disguised lost memes is itself a meme, right? There are now, and I couldn't find it in before today's for today's things, but there's like the cursed symbol that is a representation of the lost meme, right? But this has become a thing, and it's not one that's widely appreciated. Right. You get the crow judgment, generally speaking, if you share too many lost memes. It's just a problem. But it is a great example of abstraction, right? Because what was originally an entire comic with a great deal of iconic meaning, and then gathered some more of that from its context, has now not only abstracted in form of the template, but abstracted in form of the meaning. So it's just like I'm doing something transgressive, posting a lost meme, and you can barely tell. So, that is a seriously abstracted meme and a really good example of lack of arbitrariness. I'm sorry, of arbitrariness in memes, a lack of iconicity there. So, yeah, meme templates, though, are mostly iconic. Some do require social cultural knowledge, and some have abstracted away completely. This language definition is a little questionable for memes, but I think things like loss actually prove that the iconicity can definitely be a factor. So, okay, great. Grammaticality judgments. Speakers of a language know correct and incorrect forms, right? I can give you a sentence. You will be able to tell me this is accurate, this is inaccurate. And of course, I mean this in a descriptive sense, not the, oh, you spelled your wrong, stupid sense. Oh, sorry, linguist slipped in there. But still, we know incorrect forms. And there are conventions that we follow with grammar. So I can say Mara went to the store with Darnell. Easy, that works. But if I say somebody set up us the bomb, all your base, our belong to us, this is completely and totally ungrammatical in English. And in fact, to the point where it itself is a meme. Memers, though, no, and that's kind of a weird word, right? Do you actually use memer? Yeah, no. Okay. Don't identify as a memer, meme lord. Look, hey, memer would be somebody who it's an affix you have. Anyways, I digress. Memers know when memes are correct and grammatical because memes can be ungrammatical. Meme forms can be used incorrectly. So for instance, this is weirdly scaled, but I think Success Kid is maybe the general term for this. And given this is an older meme, if you see the color surround, that's my generation. We did that. Thank you. But anyways, the color surround here, the context, this is a correct meme. Late to work, the boss was even later. Something bad happened, it turned out okay. That's how this always works. So GPS arrival time, 2:38, arrive at 2:37. Boom, yes, looks bad, turn good. That's the format. Then you see things like this. Yeah, I'm getting looks like, ew, no, because it's wrong. It's ungrammatical. This is incorrect, right? This one, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm seeing the suffering in chat, and it's just bringing me a little bit of joy. I'm hurting you. Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. We have the same reaction of just like, no, you're doing things to my language that we get with truly ungrammatical linguistic stuff, right? So this one also bothers me a great deal, right? This template, I mean, it's a good pun, right? But no, everything above the image is fine, but you can't connect it to that image. It doesn't work that way. Somebody saw this and thinks, oh, it looks like a jail. Like, oh, no. Okay, boomer, no. So this is wrong. And they do come across as ironically funny. You're right, Bridget. When you violate these things,
I'm still learning.
Google, really? Stop, go away. I don't know when Google.
Okay, I'll leave you be.
Thank you, Google. Now you seem all sad. Okay. No, stop. Stop glowing. Okay, good. All right, so back at the ranch. Um, yeah, so memes are able to be wrong. That's what I was saying before Google decided to join me today. Memes are able to be very, very wrong. Not cursed, not bad. These aren't like, lost memes are wrong, but they're wrong in a different way. These are incorrect. These are ungrammatical. These are not valid uses of the meme form or the meme template. Oh, good God, we've gone woo in chat. Okay, so these mirror linguistic grammaticality judgments of speakers. 100%. We feel these same things, the same intuitions about language as we do with memes. And this one checks out. And of course, this is always my biggest fear, right? That I use, maybe not my biggest fear. But still, it's up there. You know, you want to make sure that your memes are correct, especially if they're not ones you have natively. Okay, yes, generational gaps exist between meme usages of the same meme. These things evolve. You're right, Rotsi. Absolutely 100%. That is a thing. Okay, productivity and creativity, another thing in language, right? Language can produce an infinite set of meanings, right? We can create an infinite set of sentences and an infinite set of meanings. And sub-elements of language can be recombined to produce new things. Right? I have beach, I have walk, I have cat, I have Will. I can say Will walked his cat on the beach, or Will's cat walked Will on the beach. I can do all of these things together. It works out, right? Will doesn't even have a cat, but there's the example, enjoy. Language can be used to describe anything if you've got enough time for it. Moving on. So memes are productive as well, right? They are able to be adapted to new scenarios, right? And templates can be combined and reused to create new memes. And memes, in fact, can be combined to produce new memes. So this is a really good example of this. This is a spectacular linguistics meme, right? Just getting at the fact that, well, Japanese is a little classier than ooh. And so we're able to use the Winnie the Pooh meme, but with a little bit of tweaking, we're able to give it a brand new meaning, right? That's excellent. Here's another great linguistics meme. It's a little bit cut off, but you know exactly how the rest of it goes. Let's be real here. But this was a series of prominent papers, and God, I love that meme. So there's that. And then this I came across the other day, and this isn't maybe entirely a meme in and of itself, but it is all of the memes, right? This is an example that you can combine meme forms and it works, right? We can get meaning out of this, and it's just spectacular. So we see that there is productivity with these memes. We can recombine them, we can change their meaning, we can put them in new situations. Similarly, they're creative. We can create new memes for situations. And you all know, you all probably are the person that your friends say, God, you have a meme for everything, right? I'm looking at a few of you right now who I know that to be the case for. But nonetheless, it is the case that you can have memes for pretty much any situation. Perfect example, right? I think I blame Olivier for this. This might have been in one of the ones he sent me, but still, this is just perfect, right? I didn't make this, but I wish I did, right? But it's for a very, very specific and niche element of linguistic theory, but it works. It works beautifully because I am not throwing away that ring. I want sound. It makes vowel perception better. We could use this power. Avoid speaker normalization. Anyways, I digress. So this is important, or this one I did create, right? This is Insanity Wolf. This is an old template. This is an antique. Be careful. This is really, really old, but you just put this for crazy behavior. And of course, if you read my dissertation, measuring nasality acoustically is a little crazy, right? CF Styler 2015 and 2018, actually, maybe a better reference there. Anyways, I should have cited it. Damn. That would have been the first cited meme. So anyways, this is another example of reusing an existing template in a different situation. And you can make new templates, right? Reddit has Meme Economy, which is a really good place to find new templates, right? I'm going to lose subscribers. The rest of the internet, of course, gives us meme templates. And look, meme templates are constantly evolving, right? The Tiger King was released 20 years ago on March 20th of 2020. Right, way back in the day, in the times before. But Tiger King is actually like, it's relatively recent. It doesn't feel that way, but it totally is. Yet this template is just everywhere, right? Sorry, I read it. Yeah. So this is now a thing, right? And there are other Tiger King memes out there. Like when that show hit, and I think this was actually created. I think that Netflix did a lot of work to make some memes go viral. But I remember, like, I was moving when Tiger King came out. Like, I was moving houses, and so I didn't have time to watch a damn thing. But suddenly, all these memes came out with this guy who was a little special in a variety of ways, and I was just trying to figure out what was going on, right? And then, this is probably ungrammatical, by the way. This is a weird use of Salad Cat, having Salad Cat talk back. Kind of, maybe, yes, no. Let's get the yes and no in Zoom. Is this grammatical or not? I need a grammaticality judgment. Go. Or yeah, you can post in the chat too. That's fine. Nah, sure, no, oof. I'll take that as a no. Was it a big oof, little oof, medium oof? Boof. Okay, way to damn near kill me there, Ashlyn. Okay, excellent. I survived. Let's go. So the thing is, too, that images can go from just being a funny image to being a meme template with repeated use, right? After a while, something can become lexicalized, basically, as a meme. In the same way that a word can become lexicalized, if you put a couple of things together often enough, they become a single concept, right? Those of you who had 120 with me, yeah, sorry, I'm trigger warning, Ling 120 or 120, but still, it's a thing. Lexicalization is what we call this with words. This is what happens with memes. And of course, memes can be used for any situation, and new memes can be created to fill new gaps. So it really feels like memes are creative and productive, just like language. Whoa. Traditional transmission or social transmission is another way to think about this. This is the idea that language is learned from other language use, right? We don't fall out knowing language. There were questions about innateness, universal grammar, blah, 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 blah. But there are things that we pick up, right? If you don't talk to anybody, you don't learn the language, right? So language is learned from others' language use, and our language is dictated by the language we're exposed to. Cultural knowledge comes with it, and our language represents our social groups. If you mostly hang around D&D nerds, natural 20s will make sense to you, but they won't make sense to anybody else, right? And so you can tell your social group by your language. And I would argue that memes, too, are transmitted traditionally. They're culturally and socially specific, and they spread within subcultures before they hit the mainstream. And we can, in fact, tell things about people via their meme choices. And some memes actually need group knowledge to be understood. Some memes don't make any sense outside of that group, and you have entire templates that are specific to specific groups. So you can tell generational things. Like I am personally attacked by this image because, yeah, it's a thing. I'm in this picture and I don't like it. Yeah. But this is the kind of thing that I grew up on, right? Serious cat is still a thing in my heart. Again, a proto-meme, but this is back in the day when animals had ungrammatical captions or poorly spelled captions. They gained grammar at a certain point in like 2010 or so. It's like, whoa, cats got better at talking. Weird. But it's a thing. Advice animals, yeah, absolutely. That was the day. Or, you win this round, asshole. Good old-fashioned owl. But again, it's expression. And this is, by the way, a grammatical owl. This was weird at the time, but still useful. Then there are boomer memes, right? In some cases, they're comics, like this one. And all of them, they're special. This one's really good. Not that it's good in that it's funny, but it's good in that, oh, okay, boomer. It's got its own thing going here. This is, I picture this person made this meme and then wrote an article about vocal fry like 10 seconds later. Right? That's got to be a thing, right? And then, of course, this kind of thing. And this is actually a parody boomer meme, which has gone on itself, right? I assume the top image was originally a boomer meme, and somebody has then added in the fact that we millennials should be thrown into the sun, which, okay, fair. But nonetheless, actually, it's very, very expensive to throw things into the sun from an orbital mechanics standpoint. You want to put them in graveyard orbits around the sun. That's easier. But anyways, I digress. And then this just gets directly at the core of it, which haunts, really, guys? Really? But the deep fried memes are definitely kind of where that's where I get off this train. I don't entirely understand it, but I can love and appreciate them, right? There comes a point. So yes. There is definitely a generational difference in memes. And so the memers you grow up around, I know, you grow up around will influence your memeing indeed. So we can get things like socially constructed memes. So this is an example of a trans meme. This is a meme that is shared in trans culture. It's kind of amazing, right? And so this, if you see this meme shared by somebody, you can make a pretty good guess that either they identify as trans or they spend a lot of time with trans folks. Here's a bi meme, right? So gender, sexuality is another kind of thing. Just spectacular. Here is a very specific subculture. I don't entirely know what to describe Pepe meme users as, but it's a thing, right? I'm pretty sure that all of you can come up with a stereotypical or prototypical Pepe meme user, and it's a social group, right? 4chan, yeah, that's a fair thing, but it goes, yeah. So anyways, this is a Pepe meme, and then of course linguist memes. We share linguist memes because we want to show people that we are linguists, right? And oh God, is that true? So yeah. Memes also often need in-group knowledge. So I'm going to share with you memes that are from a group that I don't think you all are a part of. Watch nerds or horology snobs. Luxury timepiece geeks. This is a thing, by the way. But this is a meme that is absolute king fire, okay? You don't get it, but oh my God. Because this LVMH company bought out a big chunk of this historical blogger. This made absolutely no sense to probably anybody else in the room. But when I saw it, I lost my, because, oh my God, it's amazing. Or, here's another one. Again, if you don't understand the relationship between, no, it's not going to make any sense. But that's because you don't have the social background. That's the point, right? You need to have social background to understand kinds of memes because they're a part of shared culture. Right? And if you laugh at this, it's like, oh, I just learned something about you. So yeah, there is a watch subculture. It's a thing. It's a whole thing, as a matter of fact. It's a weird place. Anyways, and then of course, linguist memes do the same thing, right? Which, as somebody who came into college as a Russian major, Yep. So, and of course, this is like, put the laryngeals back. This is 15 layers of deep, right? Yeah, anyways, I love this. I love it. So the King's Wool. Yes, I'm going to start referring to Lana Del Rey as the King's Wool. That'll go well. So yeah, there is sociolinguistics in your memes. It is indeed far, far more likely than you think. So memes, I would argue, very clearly have traditional transmission. They're learned from other meme users. We don't necessarily, we're not born knowing memes. And they're bundled with and they index. They tell things about your social status, about your social affiliations and that kind of thing, just on the basis of what memes that you use. People learn things about you by virtue of your memes. Some cases it's just your age, but otherwise. And then your upbringing and your environment play a very strong role in how you use and understand them. Cool. So that feels pretty languagey, right? Oh, I have a fire Brutus stabbed Caesar meme, but I can't put it in because I'm in the middle of a lecture. Anyways, I digress. Compositionality. another important part here. Language is compositional. Larger wholes are made up of smaller parts, each contributing a part of the meaning, right? This is Ling 101, right? No matter what level you're looking at. Sentences are made up of words, are made up of morphemes, are made up of phonemes, are made up of phones, and we just go all the way down, right? It's a thing. So you have unlockable, that's decomposable into smaller parts. You have sentences like, I'm never going to give you up. That right there, decomposable into many parts. But memes are compositional too, because the captions carry meaning. Yeah, that is like language. We know that one. But meme templates carry meaning as well. And other stylistic elements of memes can carry meaning. So meme template meaning. Changing only the template changes the meaning. So we can create minimal pairs. That's right, content warning phonology. So we can find memes. So for instance, generative phonology, usage-based phonology. What is the meaning of this? What are my feelings about these two concepts? What is the meaning of this? Where's Eric? Yeah, choose one and only one, but you want both. Like, I kind of want to use this, but I kind of want to use this, and I can't decide. And that's honestly, it's a little real, right? As opposed to how I feel on other days. When I'm a phonetician, this is how I'm feeling it. This is a whole mood right here on other days. And then, of course, you could change it still. And this was actually year 4 of my PhD. I took one class, it was like, whoa, oh my God, yes. So yeah, a minimal triplet, near minimal, because this one has an additional chunk of meaning, right? The will in grad school. But I would still argue it proves that, and I probably could have done usage-based phonology and generative phonology without the central point there. It would have worked, but still. And meme style cues have meaning in isolation too. Impact font. Just using impact is itself an element of a meme, right? Comic Sans, I would argue, is a meme in and of itself. Or Papyrus has a role too. There are like 4 fonts that people know, and like 3 of them are meme fonts, right? So impact has meaning. If I put impact font on anything, it feels like a meme. There is the deep pry world, right? So it needs more JPEG, generally speaking. From an image processing standpoint, oh yes. But wingdings, okay, yes, wingdings we also know. Thank you, Gloria. But deep fried memes themselves have a little bit of meaning. I stumbled upon this. This is amazing, right? Everyone's looking at this like, I don't understand this artifact. What have you done? This was somebody who wanted to put her name on a picture and found a website that does that. And in doing so, she created a motivational poster and turned herself into a meme. This is absolutely wonderful. So we see this person's picture, we see the name, we see the website, but we're thinking, what's the meme? I don't get it. And that's because the form has meaning. This wouldn't be confusing in any other context, but she used elements of meme style, used meme fonts, meme backgrounds, and suddenly it's a meme. Amazing. So memes are absolutely compositional. They're valuable in terms of different components, the text, the image, and other stylistic elements. Meaning components are productive and can be reused elsewhere, and that's awesome, right? And then finally, I want to talk about, yeah, I know, image flip, don't judge me. Linguistic functions is another thing that language does, right? One would kind of hope, right? Language accomplishes functions, it does things, because we can do things like simple assertive sentences. The duck quacked at his bay, right? You're just saying this is the truth, right? There is a thing that is a duck, it quacked, and the thing quacked at is a bay, right? We can ask a question, like who posted the lost meme? It's a question, you'd want to know that. We can issue a directive, declare a ling major. We can do, we can express feelings. I'm confused by deep fried memes. It's not like a declarative thing. It's just I'm stating my feelings generally. And we can change things about the world, like a speech act. I sentence you to 10 hours of community service for posting lost memes. Whatever that works. Language does these things. Memes can do this too, right? A meme can make an assertion. Oh, come on. Did that not work? People. Okay, there are so many assertive memes out there in the world, right? Ranging from the change my mind template to the entire Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself thing, which was absolutely a meme both in speech and in image. Oh, what other assertive memes are there? What did I end up choosing? I was tweaking this right before the presentation. Either way, there are a bunch. Oh, damn, this was a good one too. Never mind, I can't explain it. I'll make sure I fix it in the slides. So memes can make assertions, though. I hope you understand that. You can tell somebody something about the world using a meme. You can also ask a question using a meme. Why not both, right? This is a classic question meme. It's also discoursey, but you can ask questions with memes too. Yeah, put in chat. I will, if I weren't in the middle of lecturing, I absolutely would. Actually, if somebody can find the emotional support dog meme, that's it. That might make sense to some of you. If it does, you're my people. But memes can ask questions. Memes can also issue directives. So for instance, do it, right? This is someplace, it's a sort of a weird meme adjacent thing. Reaction image and meme gets a little, is this meme? Show me in chat, is this a meme? Let's see here. Here's hoping that that meme works. Not yet, add a top text. Yeah, see, you're looking for a stylistic element, right? You're looking for an element of form that's missing. So we can't tell that. But okay, so this is a directive meme. It's a command. And there are other ones of these too. Memes can express our feelings. I would argue that this has become a meme, right? By the time it becomes a Discord emoji, it's a meme. I'm sorry, it's a thing. And then memes can change things about the world. I looked long and hard to find meme speech acts. And the weird thing is that it's difficult. There's usually like an announcement of a speech act. But I would argue that this is a speech act. If said by a server administrator in a Discord, this is a speech act. Usually it means, either I'm about to ban you or somebody needs to. So yeah. Bro, you posted cringe. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that's actually not bad, come to think of it. Because then you're officially labeling that person as a cringe poster. Yeah, sure. But meme speech acts, if you come up with other ones, send them. I need them. I demand. So memes can do all of the linguistic functions we have out there. So memes can be used for the same purposes. Yeah, some days a lot of people get banned. But anyways, if memes can accomplish all the same purposes as language, it sure feels like memes have almost all the characteristics of language. And the one that they're really missing is that iconicity, the arbitrariness. And even still, for some older memes, that can become a thing. So I know what you're thinking. Cool story, bro. Why do we care? What is the point of all of this? Well, I mean, the big one is that this means that linguistics can help us understand memes. Right? You all have been preparing for this moment for your entire lives. Almost every linguistic subfield has meme-related questions. Phonetics, you could maybe get into like image manipulation type for deep frying. Maybe gets a little weird, like the amount of JPEG versus GIF compression. You can get into that. But yeah, phonology and phonotactics have meme questions. So what form elements can co-occur? What are illegal combinations? For instance, could you have a deep-fried advice animal? That feels really weird to me. And people are thinking, maybe I'll do that. And maybe it works, but maybe it's not. This is phonotactics. At the end of the day, these are the same kinds of questions we ask there. That's how you can have your very own haunts. Yes, indeed. Morphology is, of course, what are the correspondences between meme form and meme meaning? Right? That's the same question we ask in all parts of morphology. And then how do memes go from funny pictures to being productive? Right? How do we go from, for instance, this is, I'm never going to financially recover from this. That in and of itself, you could post that as just a reaction, but then it became a meme. When did that happen? How did that happen? What is the process by which this got lexicalized effectively? Semantics, of course, gives us the meaning of memes. How do we analyze the meaning of a given frame? How do we analyze the meaning of the whole thing put together? Pragmatics talks about context and discourse. It can mean one thing to post a meme in an empty chat. It can mean something entirely different to post it in a chat that's got a vigorous conversation going, right? Pragmatics is a thing. Sociolinguistics, oh my God. Like, what does meme use tell us about people's social life? I'm from the internet. But no, I mean, there are going to be different memes that indicate different social groups, and just knowledge of them can be useful. And how are memes used to index social identity? In what ways do memes help us understand who are your people, who are not, etc.? Kind of classical sociolinguistic questions. Conversation and discourse analysis, what role do memes play in conversation? Because the thing is, very seldom do you just send, well, actually, that's not true. I just send people memes all the time. But usually they're couched in a conversational context, right? And so what role is this playing? Is this a turn? Is it not? That's something that I'd be interested to see more of. Become a forensic memeologist. You're on 4chan. Don't deny it. Oh, that's a thing. And then translation theory. Can a meme be translated effectively into another language or into another culture? Can a meme be translated into text? Is a really interesting question. Like, can you actually translate some memes in a lossless way, or as close as we can? And then diachronics, how do memes change over time? Why are Will's memes all old? And do memes follow the same patterns of change as language? And so, by the way, all that time you spent on a linguistics degree will also help you study memes. Yeah. God, I hope that's grammatical. And so to wrap up today, memes are bits of cultural information that are spread from person to person. They share many of the properties often attributed to conventional signed and spoken language. Linguistic tools and methods are really useful for their analysis. And in summary, I'd like to thank very much Lingua, of course, for having me here, and the Linguistically Informed Memery crew for helping me find all sorts of memes, blessed, cursed, and blurst in the middle. And thank you also very much for listening. And if you'd like, maybe stop the recording for our discussion, and we can talk about this.